Hello, this is Resource of the Week with SolanoConnex, Mental Health, Service Access, and You. My name is Elena Starr.
And I'm Valentina Kelly. And this week we're meeting with Deanna Dickey, Operations Manager and Event Coordinator for MOBEC, which is the Mobile Diabetes Education Center at Touro University, California. Deanna, we want to thank you so much for joining us today, and we're so excited to learn a little bit more about what MOBEC does. Could you tell us a little bit about what MOBEC specializes in?
Certainly. Thank you both for having me today. MOBEC specializes in diabetes awareness education. Along with that lines, hypertension, which would be high blood pressure. As the two correlate together, if you have one, it tends to increase chances for the other. We also do education for classes in diabetes for those that are constantly at this point dealing with it, have been diagnosed as diabetic, and for those who are in the pre-diabetic area of diagnosing from their primary care provider, we offer classes to help them understand more and try to get back away from it if that is a possibility for them.
Wow, that's great. And I understand you guys also, we go out to outreach events with you guys as well. So you guys also do a lot of outreach, right? And community involvement?
Yes, correct.
Awesome.
And very, very many different aspects too. It's not just one setting, it's everywhere.
Where do you guys go? And do you guys have a location, a central location, or I know that you guys have a mobile unit. Are you primarily out of the mobile unit? What does that look like?
Well, the mobile unit is a 65-foot truck and trailer setup. A lot of logistics will allow the trailer to be at sites. My main handling of the operations unit is just to make sure it can be in certain areas, providing the service out of the trailer. If it is something that is not an acceptable aspect to bring, we will table in tent. As you know, we've done that with both SolanoConnex and Drug Safe Solano and COVID team. If it's like a health fair or different aspects that are going on, and depending on the space, allotment and allocation, we'll pack it anyway in and bring it in to everybody, if it's through the trailer or if it's actually just us bringing tables and tents and providing the same service.
Awesome.
The trailer actually makes it a little easier. It can be seen. It's very well wrapped. It has a lot of information on it. People recognize it. It's a moving billboard. We do work out of it depending on the location. If there's no building to be in, or if COVID is preventing us from being indoors with people, we'll use the trailer.
That's amazing. And who can access the services that you provide? Are there any limitations?
No limitations. Everybody can access the services we bring out. Everybody's welcome. No requirements other than just signing a waiver if they wish to proceed with the screenings. That is just something we have to ask for legally. So other than that, it could be anybody. You can bring your child if you wish to have them checked. There's qualifications for that in regards to meeting the age bracket of the child, but there are still diabetes in children, so we still want to be mindful of educating people for that. And our nutritionist, Ann Lee, would be the one that would go over that with the parent or guardian at that time. But everybody's welcome. There's no insurance prerequisites. There's no need of insurance. You don't have to be a documented person of the states. It's not something we are looking for any of that information from. Just your name, your birth date, and a signature, and that's it.
That's great. So if somebody wanted a screening or to get information, could they just walk up to you guys? Do you guys do appointments, or what does that aspect look like?
Well, if they see us out in public, like with myself, as you know, as well as your program, we're always out and about, and people recognize you because of it. You become a face of that program. So in the last 5 years, people have known me because I've born and raised in Vallejo, so I've been in the community all my life. So people know me from my family and what they've done. And now they know me based on MOBEC and the association with Touro. So anytime they see me, it's 95% of the time asking, not besides how are you doing normally with your private life and personal, but they want to know where MOBEC is at. They want to see how I can come back out and provide services for them. After COVID, things are becoming a lot more abundant. People want to have more things come to their service area, and they want to provide that by bringing in what we offer, and then all the rest of the programs from Touro as well. And that right there and there, we kind of in our own right start a mini health fair just with us. And then I'll bring in other outside entities if that's what that logistic and site host would like to have. So to find us is easy. It's just, of course, the websites and anywhere you can chat with us, comment on any of our Instagrams or Facebooks. we have a colleague who handles that sort of end of the social media for us. And if we're out in public and you see us, it's just, hey, drop me a comment and ask me where we're going to be. If you want me to make arrangements to come out to their location and provide for them, that's what we do. That's
Awesome.
that's through me. Yeah. And it's pretty much our areas of operation are, there isn't one place all the time. Like most clinics you'll see, like from the county when they ran theirs, it would be Mondays they're in one location in Fairfield, Tuesdays they're in another. For me, I kind of work based on the host site and the things that might be happening with different varieties of churches or organizations. If they're putting on health resource fairs, or if they're wishing to put one together, then they go through me to start it all with the Touro end of it, and then ask me to bring in outside entities. So it's kind of like I have to make up the schedule 2 or 3 months ahead of time. So I'm putting in different places all over. So, and everywhere we're at, anybody's welcome to come see us.
That's great. And then do you guys offer services in any languages other than English? Do you guys have anybody that can help community members who don't speak English?
Yes, both of my colleagues, Ann Lee and Marjelli Ray, they both speak a different language. English is, I think, primarily their, I want to say second, but they speak it very fluently as well. So Ann Lee is the Chinese translation, if we have that. And Marjelli Ray is our Spanish translator. That's her language. If we need Punjabi, Urdu, Hindi, any of the Tagalog, we have that within the student body, as well as within some of the staff members of Touro.
That's great. And then you kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but just, so a community member can kind of understand the process. So if they basically see you and they walk in, it sounds like they fill out kind of like a waiver and do a screening. Is that correct? Or are there any other steps just so people know what to expect?
Yeah, we have everything done via electronic iPad. So they are going to read a couple of different waivers. They just check the box saying they're okay or not okay to have their picture taken. We usually will let people know if we're taking any photographs with them in it. So there'll be a sign on the trailer that states that, there's being photographs taken, and they'll be asked to sign that part off on the waiver. Once they sign the waiver in the iPad, the next initial steps is asking them their normal background, ethnicity, height, weight, standard stuff that we ask for, because these are all part of our data reporting back to our sponsors. And then the next questions would be about how they feel buying food in the community. Is healthy? Is it expensive? Is it safe to walk in your neighborhood? Do you find you have activities you can get to easily? Things of that nature, because our sponsors want to know what may be missing in those areas we are seeing those people in, and their opinions of their own community and their local neighborhoods and where they may shop. So that all comes back into a data format, and then they get to figure out, if I was in South Vallejo, how well does that compare to North Vallejo? How well does that compare to East and West Vallejo? After that, they get to the screening aspect, where we start doing the diabetes check on the iPad, where they have their finger prick done. And then they'll ask if they want blood pressure, they can get it. If they rather have one or the other, they can have either or. It's not required they go through each process. If somebody just wanted their blood pressure done, that's all they would give, if that's what they wanted. They don't have to have their finger prick for that. And then the results come out. And then after that, the student doctor who is with us in outreach from the student body works with Ann Lee, our preceptor, and they go over all the information at that point. And none of these tests require you to fast. We prefer that you come having already eaten something, so you could see how your body is working at that point. And then you get a different, educational aspect of how diabetes is. Most people usually go to their doctor and get it done once they fasted for 12 hours. That's a totally different type of number.
Got it. Awesome.
And Deanna, I know you mentioned that you also provide that there's classes for diabetes awareness and support. Are those done online or in person? Is that done at MOBEC when you're out in the community, or how does that work?
Well, usually when people come to see us and they have us, do the screening, and they do a full screening, and they're interested about any nutrition or educational aspects. If they've been told they're pre-diabetic by a doctor or clinic, if they're told they're diabetic and they want better information because when they were addressed with this diagnosis, it could have been 20 years ago. These classes are done normally at this point virtually, so it's all done on Zoom. We do in person, and we had in the past, but that has not been something they are doing just yet. And Anne says that they're looking into probably bringing that back on. We have a few locations that wouldn't mind in-person aspect. Diabetes prevention program is for those that are being told they're pre-diabetic, have a chance to reverse their aspects. That's a year-long course that's done with a lifestyle coach. Myself, I'm actually trained as a lifestyle DPP coach. You just have to have a lot of time to give that. And amongst everything else I do, that's a little bit difficult. And we have Success with Diabetes for those that have been diabetic for 5+ years, or just at that point have been diabetic and can't revert. They'll actually go through a new course that has new information, education, and understandings about what is different in diabetes now versus when they were explained and told by their diagnosis with their PCP or care provider 15, 10, 20 years ago. So because things do change. And there's new ideas and things to help diabetics now. So they're being told about new medication. They're being told about, the glucose monitoring systems. So they're not always having to poke a finger. So it's just providing a lot more access to things that they may not get. And it also could be because they're not able to get those items based on insurance coverage. So a lot of times we have studies through our Touro University that we're offering that people can become part of those studies to, get a constant glucose monitoring device applied and learn all the instructions about it through a licensed physician here at the MRC, which is Metabolic Research Center. Yeah. So we work with a lot of people on our team that doing a lot of different studies.
You brought up a really good point about, some people maybe got diagnosed or got information 20 years ago, but you guys can provide updated information even for people who may have, gotten information a while ago. So I thought that was a really interesting point you brought up. So it's really good for, people to keep in mind.
Yeah. Everything is a little different. My mother was diagnosed 30 years ago. She's been through both of our classes. Ann Lee wanted her to go in through even the one that wasn't pretty much designed for people that are already diabetics and dealing with medication. But just to see what other people that she may run into that she talks with that say, hey, I just got diagnosed and mom's she's been through the diabetes prevention program. She can explain it better to them. So a lot of it is educating somebody who already has it to knowing what people who are just been told recently they've been diagnosed with it, how to try and do things. And it informed my mom quite a bit and educated her, because what a diabetic can't eat versus what a pre-diabetic is still doing is so different. And it was a very good eye-opener for everybody in the room, because everybody in the class who's taking it is being told they're pre-diabetic, they can change. You have so much time. We'll see how it goes in your next blood work panel. And here's my mom explaining them, this is what it's like for somebody in 30 years dealing with it and what you have to contend with. So it also educates the class.
No, that's great. That's awesome. And then I know you mentioned like a website, you mentioned social media. You guys are really active on those platforms, but are there any other ways that people can get information about MOBEC or any of these services?
At this point, it's through the social media, flyers that may be out from previous events, if they're still hanging around. Seeing us when we're out and about, a lot of people have stopped and come back with us and called us and emailed us from just seeing the information on the side of the trailer. So that means that the marketing aspect of the trailer is working. And we have on the trailer it written in English, Spanish, and Tagalog. Since primarily in Vallejo, those are the languages that are spoken and read, just because of the demographics of Vallejo itself. It's a lot of Hispanics and Filipinos. So they see that and they let us know. Other than, going on to the Touro website itself, we have our own page on Touro's website, Touro University, California. So that's another way to find us.
And Deanna, is there anything else that we didn't give you the opportunity to say so far that you wanted to add?
No, you covered everything quite well. Thank you for that. And I appreciate the time today to let everybody know we're out here in support of the community and their friends and family. They're all welcome to come see us. And we hope to do a lot more with all the other programs as well. Keep up a great health fair idea.
Yes, we're really excited for that. Deanna, we just really wanted to thank you for teaching us a little bit more about the services you provide today. And to learn more about this resource, please check out the link in our post. We also want to remind you that if you're looking for other mental or emotional health resources and services, you can visit SolanoConnex, which is spelled CONNEX.org. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.